जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव राधा माधव श्री राधे। जय राधा गिरिधारी राधा गिरिधारी राधे। जय प्रभुपदा 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 जय प्रभुपदा। जय गुरुदेवा 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 जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा। श्री श्री राधा माधव भगवान की जय। श्री श्री राधा गिरधारी भगवान की जय। डिवाइन ग्रेसील प्रभुपाद की। मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वेरूपकदा मायं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलम् श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम्। श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त श्रीराधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Devaya. So Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to this morning's Bhagavatam class. Very warm welcome to Harinam Rupi group participating in the Rath Yatra festival and Harinams in Auckland. We are fortunate to have you all. And we'll start with the readings from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. Sorry. And the title of this chapter is Our Master. Our Master has not finished his work. So page 687. Srila Prabhupada was eager to leave the hospital. For several days, he had wanted to go. They are simply sticking needles, he complained. And each day was putting this society into further debt. The devotees had rented a small seaside house in Long Branch, New Jersey, where Prabhupada could go to recuperate. Kirtananda, they decided, would be Prabhupada's cook, and Gaur Sundar and his wife, Govinda Dasi, were arriving from San Francisco to do the housekeeping and help. But the doctor wanted Prabhupada to stay for another brainwave test and more observation. One day while Brahmananda and Gargamuni were visiting Prabhupada, the doctor entered and announced that the Swami would have to go upstairs for an X-ray. No needle, Prabhupada asked. Yes, the doctor replied, it's all right. When the nurse brought in a bed on wheels, Prabhupada said he wanted Gargamuni to push it. He then sat on it cross-legged and put his hand in his bead bag. And Gargamuni, following the nurse, wheeled him out the door, down the hall, and onto the elevator. They went down to the third floor and entered a room. The nurse left them alone. Gargamuni could sense Prabhupada's uneasiness. He was also nervous. It was such an unlikely place for him to be with his spiritual master. Then a different nurse entered with a needle. Time to give the Swami a little injection. No, Prabhupada shook his head. I'm sorry, Gargamuni said flatly. We are not going to do it. The nurse was exasperated but smiled. It won't hurt. Take me back, Prabhupada ordered Gargamuni. When the nurse insisted, Gargamuni acted rashly, his usual tendency, and stepped between the nurse and Srila Prabhupada. I'm ready to fight if I have to, Gargamuni thought. I won't let you do it, he said, and wheeled the bed out of the room, leaving the nurse behind. Wow. Gargamuni was lost. He was somewhere on the third or fourth floor, faced with corridors and doors, and Prabhupada's room was on the sixth floor. Unsure where he was going, Gargamuni wheeled through the corridors with Prabhupada sitting cross-legged, chanting on his feet. Brahmananda arrived at the X-ray lab seconds after Garg Muni's escape. The nurse and an intern complained to him about what had happened. Brahmanand, they considered this a theft. Swamiji was their property. As I think this is what Brahmanand is contemplating. They considered this a theft. Swamiji was their property. As long as he was in the hospital, he was theirs to do whatever they pleased with. Garg Muni had stolen Swamiji away from them. So this is where we'll stop. Srila Prabhupada is tired of these injections. And he said, and he was promised no needles, and then finally they were trying to inject him, and he said, no, let's go. So Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we're reading from Canto 4, chapter 31, verse 13. We'll read word by word first. Please repeat. Shreyasam api sarvesham atma hi avadhir arthatah sarvesham api bhutanam harir atmatmadah priyah Shreyasam api sarvesham Shreyasam api sarvesham Atma hi avadhir arthata Atma hi avadhir arthata Sarvesham api bhutanam Sarvesham api bhutanam Harir Atmatmada Priya Harir Atmatmada Priya Shreyasam api sarvesham Atma hi avadhir arthata Sarvesham api bhutanam Harir Atmatmada Priya Sarvesham api Shreyasam api sarvesham Atma hi avadhir arthata Sarvesham api bhutanam Harir Atmatmadah Priyaha. Please repeat. Shreyasam api sarvesham Atma hi avadhir arthataha Sarvesham api bhutanam Harir Atmadmadah Priyaha. Shreyasam api sarvesham Atma avadhir arthataha सर्वेषामपि भूतानां हरिरात्मात्मदा प्रियः यस्यामपि सर्वेषाम् आत्मा हि अवधिरर्थता सर्वेषामपि भूतानां हरिरात्मात्मदा प्रिया श्रेयसामपि सर्वेषाम् आत्मा हि अवधिरर्थतः सर्वेषामपि भूतानां हरिरात्मात्मदा प्रिया word by word. Shreyasam of auspicious activities. Api, certainly. Sarvesham, all. Atma, the self. E, certainly. Audhihi, destination. Arthataha, factually. Sarvesham, of all. Api, certainly. Bhutanam, living entities. Harihi, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Atma, the Super Soul. Atmada, who can give us our original identity. Priyaha, very dear. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation, factually, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the original source of all self-realization. Consequently, the goal of all auspicious activities, karma, jnana, yoga, and bhakti, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please repeat. Factually, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the original source of all self-realization. Consequently, the goal of all auspicious activities, karma, jnana, yoga, and bhakti, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Report. The living entity is the marginal energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the material world is the external energy. Under the circumstances, one must understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is factually the original source of both matter and spirit. This is explained in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita 7.4 to 5. Bhumirapo analavayu kam manobuddhir evacha ahankar iti yamme bhinna prakritir ashtada apriyamitastva anyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagata. Translation of these two verses. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these 8 comprise my separated material energies. But besides this inferior nature, O mighty Arjuna, there is a superior energy of mind, which consists of all living entities who are struggling with material nature and are sustaining the universe. The entire cosmic manifestation is but a combination of matter and spirit. The spiritual part is the living entity, And these living entities are described as Prakriti, material nature, or energy. The living entity is never described as Purusha, the Supreme Person. Therefore, to identify the living entity with the Supreme Lord is simply ignorant. The living entity is the marginal potency of the Supreme Lord, although there is factually no difference between the energy and the energetic. The duty of the living entity is to understand his real identity. When he does, Krishna gives him all the facilities to come to the platform of devotional service. That is the perfection of life. This is indicated in the Vedic Upanishad. Yam evaisha vrinute tena labhyas tas aisa atma vivrinute tanum swam. Lord Krishna confirms this in Bhagavad Gita 10.10. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam ye namam upyantite. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. The conclusion is that one must come to the platform of Bhakti Yoga. Even though one may begin with Karma Yoga, then Jnana Yoga, and then Ashtanga Yoga, ultimately we should come to Bhakti Yoga. Unless one comes to the platform of Bhakti Yoga, self-realization or realization of the absolute truth cannot be achieved. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmiltam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Om Vishnupadaya Krishnavastai Bhutale Srimati Krishna Goswami Iti Namne Namah Vishnupadaya Krishnavastai Bhutale Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namne Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pacharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desh Tarine. So we'll repeat the verse. Shreyasam api sarvesham atma hi avadhir artatah sarvesham api bhutanam harid atmatmadaha priya. Translation. Factually, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the original source of all self-realization. Consequently, the goal of all auspicious activities, karma, jnana, yoga, and bhakti, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, very auspicious day today, and the day which all Aucklanders, especially devotees and friends of this temple, they look forward to. That's Rath Yatra festival in Queen Street. Yes, so everyone is encouraged to participate and take darshan of Lord Jagannath, who will be shortly leaving the temple. So this has been going on, this Rath Yatra. I am not sure, over 30 years, anyone can? 37, wow, pretty long. Yeah. So the administrators of this country, the government is, and also Auckland City Council is very kind, compassionate, and they are allowing this festival to go on, and everyone is benefiting. Those who are taking darshan of Lord Jagannath and the Harinam, and we have been having the Harinam Ruchi participating in this festival for some time, quite some years. Okay, so today we're talking about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's the original source of everything. He's the original source of self-realization, even. So We all know that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Lord Shri Krishna, Radha and Krishna, and there are many evidences in the Shastras regarding this. Like Lord Brahma says in Brahma Samhita, Ishvara, Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. He is Adi Purush. He is the original. That's Krishna. And also Krishna speaks for himself in 10.8, I think, Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasya prabho mataha sarvam pravartate iti matava bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Krishna says, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So that's Krishna. He is the source of everything, the spiritual and the material worlds. And also Krishna, it's mentioned in this verse, self-realization. What is self-realization? It is the process of understanding and accepting one's true self, first, who you are. One's true self. Many humans on this planet are not aware of this. They just think that they are this nice body which they have to take care of very nicely, feed him nicely, clothe him nicely, and then make the body happy in various ways. That's all they know. But the Vedic scriptures tell us a deeper meaning of this body, why, who we are actually. And in chapter 2, Krishna says very clearly, we are not this body, but we are this spiritual energy. We are a spiritual spark. We are jiva. We are the soul. And that's our real identity. And once we understand that, then we have to do something about it. Not that just understanding that we are this soul and that's it. No. The soul has responsibility, duty to perform. And also given in the scriptures, Jivera Sarupo Hai Krishnara Nityadas. We are eternally a servant of Krishna. And the more we serve him through devotional service, the more happy we'll be. And that's what we are all looking for, happiness in this world. So our eternal happiness will come when we serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Radha and Krishna, as well as their pure devotees and the Vaishnavas will be more happy. We'll get the real taste gradually. So understanding the self means our real ID. We are spiritual energy. We are not material energy of the Lord. And then once we understand that, then we'll surrender to their lordships, surrender to their pure devotees. And once we do that, then we'll get detached, gradually detached from this material world. And we'll get attached to Krishna and his devotees. Our desires will be transformed. Instead of serving ourselves only and our family and friends, our desires will transform into serving devotees, serving Guru Maharaj, serving Vaishnavas, and of course, serving their lordships. So this transformation takes place. And also practicing selfless love. This is important. Selfless love invokes a deep connection with the divine and without expectations or limitations. We don't expect anything from anyone, just selflessly serve others. Don't expect anything in return. This is selfless love. Practice, we have to practice, and then we'll develop that gradually. Selfless love. And self-realization also entails chanting of the holy names. This is the Yuga Dharma. Krishna's holy name is non-different from Krishna. So we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And this is what happens in Harinam. In any programs where devotees conduct, always starts with chanting the holy names of the Lord, Harinam. And then finally realizing one's identity is so important. We tend to sometimes forget. We are not this body, we are separate from the body. We are spirit soul. Hare Krishna Prabhu. You should have been sitting here today. Just after the Harina, I mean, this Guru Puja went away. I was inviting you to sit here today and give class. Okay. Yes, so we are separate from these bodies. This is the knowledge that is so important. We are spirit soul. We must realize and we must practice it, and we develop this realization. And in this verse also mentions about the goal of all auspicious activities. And the auspicious activities mentioned here are karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, and bhakti yoga. These are auspicious activities. As you know, yoga means to connect, to the Supreme Lord. The relationship we have forgotten, we have to revive that relationship. And these are the processes mentioned in the scriptures, and people follow this. So Srimad Bhagavatam also talks about that in 1 to 11. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti pramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate. Translation of that verse is: the learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. So that is what is mentioned in this verse. It says karma yoga. It's not just karma. Karma yoga. Karma yoga means all your activities are connected to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So whatever you do, for example, you earn living, we work, and then part of it we give it to the temple and also use it in the service of the Lord. At home, you buy bhoga, cook, offer it to Krishna. This is all karma yoga, connecting it to the Lord. And then jnana yoga. Jnana yoga is cultivating knowledge of the absolute truth, reading scriptures, reading the Vedas, and then it goes up to Brahman realization. Says Brahmatmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti, Shabdyate. Brahman realization is this Jnana Yoga. The famous place in India about Brahman realization is Benares. Eh? It has been there from time immemorial. That place. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there, and there are lots of Mayavadis there. They cultivate knowledge. Even now, they have this Vedic school in Benares where lots of students go to study the Vedas, all those mantras and so on. So that's Brahman realization. Brahman means the effulgence from the Lord's spiritual body, the light. So they go as far as Brahman realization, and they think that's the end of everything. So that's Jnana Yoga. But after several lifetimes, they will come to the ultimate, which is Bhakti Yoga. And the next level is Ashtanga Yoga. These are they are called Hiranya Garbhas. These people who are yogis, they do all sorts of pranayam. There are 8 there. I don't remember the names. Breathing exercise and then physical exercise, just to realize Paramatma in their heart. And they are the Stang yogis. And they also, later on, they move up after performing that for several years or several lifetimes even. And the topmost is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga entails, all these there, like Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Brahman realization and Paramatma realization is included in Bhagwan realization. So they are all part and parcel. Srila Prabhupada mentions that all these realizations, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan, are qualitative the same. Qualitatively, they are all same. They are one and the same, he says in this verse. And this is understood by the learned transcendentalist. But you should not try to differentiate them. Of course, there are differences in that, but qualitatively they are same. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions the verse Natasya, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate natat samash cha bhyadikas cha drishyate parasya shaktir vividhaiva shuruyate swabhaviki jnana bal viyacha. It's not Srimad Bhagavatam. It is in the Upanishad, Vetas Vartara Upanishad 6.8. Translation is, the Supreme Lord has nothing to do and no one is found to be equal to or greater than him. For everything is done naturally and systematically by his multifarious energy. So Krishna himself doesn't do all these activities, run the whole cosmic manifestation. It's done by his multifarious energies. Krishna is enjoying pastimes with his pure devotees and playing flute. That's what he does. But his multifarious energies perform all the other activities. Krishna is endowed with unlimited potencies, energies. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate, which are summarized as the 3 types of Shaktis or energies. There are external energies, internal, and marginal. What is the Sanskrit term for this? Bahiranga is external, is internal, Tathast is marginal one. Thank you, Prabhu. That's why I wanted you to sit here. Yes, so Bahiranga Shakti is the external energy, the material energy. And Antaranga, Ant means inside. Antaranga Shakti is the internal energy. And Tathast, in between, the marginal energy are we, all the jivas, not only humans, all the jivas are the marginal potency of the Lord. We are lucky, we in the marginal potency. Lucky in the sense we can make progress and go back to Godhead, or even we can go further down into different forms of life again. So we are very fortunate due to the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his disciples, the Sad Goswamis and then Srila Prabhupada, who spread this Krishna Bhakti throughout the world. The medium was chanting the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We are very fortunate. We are sitting in the temple learning about this philosophy and also practicing it in our lives to make progress in our spiritual journey. In Bhagavad Gita 7.4, Krishna is mentioning about these different types of material energies. 7.4 it says, Bhumir apo nalvayu kham manubuddhir evacha ahankar iti yamme bhinna prakritir ashtada. There are 8 varieties of material energies Krishna is mentioning here. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. These are gross material energies. Mind, intelligence, and false ego are the subtle. They are also material energies. So these are 8. Krishna says, altogether these 8 constitute my separated material energies. So everything in this material world is made of all these 5 main elements, gross elements like earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And the living entities have this mind, intelligence, and false ego, especially the human. And Krishna further says in 7.5, beside these, O mighty Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which comprises of the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material world, the inferior nature. So Krishna says there's those 8 material energies, and besides that, there's a superior energy, and superior energy are all the jivas of this material world, is mentioning. And what are these jivas doing? They are exploiting the resources of this material world for survival. And then further on, especially the human being. All the other living entities just live for survival. The human beings live for, now they're exploiting the resources of the material world. Lots of greediness. And they want to make lots of money. So they're exploiting the resources of this, of at least this planet Earth. And the consequences we can see now what's happening. Climate change and so many things are happening, lack of resources, pollution, heaps of pollution like the city of Delhi. Yeah, so much pollution, breathing difficulty. So these are the some consequences of exploiting the material resources. Prabhupada always mentioned our philosophy, simple living and high thinking. Yeah, if we do that, we'll just use whatever we need, leave the rest. in the material nature. But that's not happening. It's very difficult. But the devotees are trying to do that. And this will save the planet. So finally, in the purport, Prabhupada mentions, Lord Krishna confirms that um, the perfection of life. And what is that? Tesham satatayuktanam bhajtam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upyantite. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So in conclusion, Srila Prabhupada mentions that one must come to the platform of Bhakti Yoga. And once we do that, Krishna will make all arrangements, or he will give us all facilities to do devotional service. And once we get into devotional service as our life's journey, that is perfection of life. That's what Prabhupada says and Krishna says. So yes, we might have done in our previous life. We have gone through these stages: karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, and now Prabhupada has come. Nitai Gaur Sundar has come to give us direct bhakti yoga through Harinam. So we have to come to the platform of bhakti yoga. We have to make a lot of progress, and our life will be successful. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Any comments, questions? Okay, yes. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that comment. It's a gradual process, actually. Yes. It's not easy to come to that level of selfless love. Devotional service. As we progress in our devotional service, we'll come to the level of selfless love. We'll not expect. That's what Lord, as you have mentioned, Mataji, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has mentioned that in the Shishtastakam. I think it's the last verse of Shishtastakam. Well, how does it start? Is not Aslishya Vapadam Vinastumam Darshanam Malam Maramatam Karotuvam Yatha Tatha Va Vididhatu Lampato Mat Prananathas Tusaeva Na Prahaya. Whatever you do, Krishna, you will remain my beloved. You will always remain my beloved. So yes, Mataji, to my understanding, we'll come to that stage, but it will take some time. Yeah. We even in current, like I'm in Grihastha ashram at the moment, we have expectations, my children will look after me when I get old, I'm already old. But we have to, we have to depend on Krishna, because ultimately he takes care of everyone through the agencies like children and all people's home and so on. I have no son, so I don't have that expectation. So my son will look after me. No, nowadays these sons don't look after their parents. They leave their parents in aged care facilities and they go live their own lives. In this, our culture was that the sons will look after their aging parents until they are there on this planet. This is our expectation. Uh, although we have done our selfless service to our children, this is our responsibility to take care of them, educate them. They are on their own feet now. Yeah, it's not easy, selfless love, but if we pray for that. That's the best thing to do. That our desires change. Pray to Krishna, pray to Guru, Srila Prabhupada. I will come to that level of selfless love. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Absolutely, yeah. But because of situation and circumstances, it's not happening, and it's not possible for them to serve their parents. Like they are both working, and the elderly is at home, and they need attention every few hours, or but they are out there. So it's very difficult. So the best thing to do is aged care facilities, but visit them every day, give them prasadam, and somehow keep connection and serve them. This is what is happening now. Very hard. Oh, yeah. Mahaprasad Prabhu is there serving his parents. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jagannath Rath Yatra Festival ki jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai.